Hey everybody, this is Yule over at Fantastic Comics, and today we're going to show you some comic books we have for sale. I have to share screen to make that happen. Why don't we have things ready to go when we're ready to go? Yeah, it's just the way it is. Alrighty, ready. So like I said, we're going to have comic books for sale. For those of you that don't know, my name is Yule Carter. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. You can see all that stuff scrolling on the bottom of the screen. And if you go to fantasticcomics.com now, you will see back issues that we have for sale. Fantastic Four, Strange Tales, all sorts of stuff that we're putting up, whether it be silver, bronze, hopefully some gold age. I'm going to want to get some out-of-print books up there that are graphic novels. So things like that. But in store, we also have things that are available. And I would recommend you come on in and check it out if you're able to. Let me take this down so it doesn't take up too much room. Alright, here we go. First up, I want everybody to know that we have a free comic book by Matt Vituccio called Negative X. It's a free zine or mini comic. Got really clean artwork and some funny little jokes, one-offs. And I'm going to give this free if you purchase one of 3 comics or types of comics that I have in the store. First up, I would recommend everybody come on in and order Sludgy. This is what, a $5, $6 comic, something like that. And it's masterfully illustrated by a person named Rob Mirsky. And I found out about this person when I jumped on a stream of Noah Van Sciver's. So if you buy anything of his, I recommend Fonte Bukowski, which is a collection of his Fonte Bukowski one-shots, graphic novels, minis, graphic novellas. How's that? And it's all about this guy who wants to be a writer. And isn't that always great? But it's super funny, and there's all sorts of stuff in here that should make you feel much better about yourself. And last but not least, I recommend you pick up Red Room. This is the first print by Ed Pisciotta. He did Hip Hop Family Tree and XMen Grand Design. And Fizzy Wig, I think the name of it was. And here's his take on very violent culture in the dark web. But what we're here to do today is to let you know about some back issues that we're going to be putting up for sale. But first we're going to take a look at them. But first, even more before that, here's a comic I pressed of somebody's. This is an Australian magazine, Planet Comics. They do like reprints in black and white of DC Comics and other stuff. And speaking of DC Comics, here's another person, or another one of his. Joker 6. It had a real big indentation here, which you might be able to still see. But it kind of softens it up, the pressing. Anyhow. Alright, what do we got? So some of this stuff will be going on our online site, and some of it will stay in store. And never the two shall meet, unless someday they do. But that's another thing altogether. X-Men 123, the very first X-Men I bought off the shelf. Actually off a spinner rack in a liquor store. Not even a name liquor store, just the local liquor store. Right next to the Thrifties, where you got those cylinder ice cream cones. Spider-Man was in it, so it prompted me to purchase it, and he's in for like 3 or 4 pages. What a ripoff. This is when I was really collecting X-Men, just after the Byrne run, collecting all the Byrne run, and then getting all the Cockrum while it was coming out. Of course, Chris Claremont's drawing it. I think this is the last issue of the Cockrum, and the next one's going to be Paul Smith, but I could be wrong. Anyway, this is sort of sought after. I love how, like, you know, how they used to have characters of who are in the book in the upper corner. And if not them, we have faces. And this is a popular book. This is not in very good condition, so I probably won't put it online. It'll stay in store. And, yeah, that's really good. And then Uncanny X-Men 253. This is when they were in the Outback. And the whole Siege Perilous thing happened, and video can't record the X-Men. Alright, now, these are all books that I have at my house that I am pulling out, because when we did the move from the larger store to the now smaller store, a lot of things were getting purchased and pulled away for this eventual, you know, reality. And now it's here, and now I'm slowly but surely picking away at what I have in the house that's ready to go, or is close to ready to go. And some of it's hot. So that's another reason why, you know, X-Men's always hot. So here's an Eternals #1. I knew I had this, and it was squirreled away, and I think this is a very nice condition issue. I could probably do some pressing or cleaning of it to make it look even better. Like, you can see some dirt that can get cleaned up pretty easily, and up here it's looking, you know, a little pressing will help it. This is a nice condition book, though. It's got all the pages, and they look pretty white, I mean, for the most part. So yeah, that's going to be going up. I don't know where, but I probably have one for each. Alright, here's some stuff I have to check out. I had a customer come in and say they were into the Secret Society of Supervillains. I do believe it was what we were looking for. Hopefully it wasn't the Marvel one. But yeah, these are pretty cool. Personally, I was never into bad guy comics. Here's a funky dark side there. Because they're the bad guys and they're supposed to be defeated. Now, the one-off issues that you would get in Flash, especially during the Jeff Johns times, with the spotlights on the villains, I enjoyed those. But he doesn't, like, you know, he makes you care about the characters, but not so much to where you don't want to see them still get beaten down. Or at least imprisoned, I mean. Oh, Sinestro. He's not exactly a bad guy anymore. Yep. So a lot of what I have at home is going to be, well, actually I have a lot of 70s Marvel. You'll be seeing some in just a moment. I've got a lot of DC. A lot of DC. This was from a purchase. Actually, a lot of the Silver Age that we're selling are from that collection. So the deal was that we would sell the Silver and really expensive Bronze Age for this person. And then we would get the other Bronze Age stuff for a song. And, you know, it helps us drive traffic to our site. So, you know, there's a bunch of wins, potentially. And we sold some really, really classic books. So, again, I would go to fantasticcomics.com if you want to see what we're putting up. Every day there's a new posting. Alright, every other day. Sometimes we take the weekend off. But the idea is that, you know, every day we'll at least put 5 things up, theoretically. Doesn't always happen because we have a lot of other things to do, like pay bills and stuff like that. Price comics up, put them through the computer. This one looks a little bent. I didn't take these out of the bags recently. So here we go. Secret Society of Supervillains. That's a lot of comics that you don't always see in a row. And those all look very, very nice. Alright, we've got Ghost Rider #2. That's cool. I'm not as into Marvel horror. And if it isn't Spider-Man and a few other books like Defenders, I wasn't always into, like, 70s comics. Probably, like, when I was starting to read a little bit more, like around 77, 78. But, I mean, comics were always around. It's the reason why I like force myself to read because I knew my dad was like paraphrasing what was going on. Here's Ghost Rider 3. I don't know what happened in number 1, but chances are we sold it. So this needs to be cleaned up. So this might be a little bit before this comes out for sale. That one looks a lot nicer right off the bat. Alright, Ghost Rider 4. And these are, it's Gary Friedrich, right? Yeah, Jim Mooney. Boy, Jim Mooney. If it wasn't for him, comics might not have come out in the 70s. Oh, this is crunch down here. This could definitely use for a bit of a pressing. Alright, we got Ghost Rider number 5. Probably still the same people working. Oh, Doug Mensch. Excellent. Jim Mooney. I'm pretty sure I looked at all these pages. I'm pretty sure I did. I usually then say to my brother, hey, you got to make sure you look at the pages. We do. I'm just joking. And look, these are nice looking. Those are white. Gary Friedrich, Jim Mooney. Man, these guys were like staples. Staples. And then here, oh, so it jumps from number 6 to 69. Maybe it's just numbering. You know, it's a hilarious number, obviously. This one is done by Simons, Albers, Russo, DeFalco, Shooter Production. Oh, wait, Stern, Budiansky. Alright. Danny. Is it Danny? Alright, cool. Ghost Rider, everybody. Oh, one more. This one's a little dinged up. I might put this online because, you know, you don't always see, like, the later issues as often. And I could probably, like... It's always the later issues, right? I mean, actually, it's anything after 6. That's how it usually goes. Or if it's Spawn, I say anything after 25 is important. DeMatteis, Budiansky, Dave Simons. It's a crazy cover. Anyway, Steelwind. It's a first appearance then also. Ooh. Alright, next bag. What could it be? Alright, these are from a collection where there's multiples. And I forget if it's mine from home. Some of these need a little bit of TLC. But they're great books for sure. Moon Knight. Bill Sienkiewicz. This is before he started getting really kind of wacky for some people. But yeah, super cool. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Here's another Moon Knight, number 5. I've read these books so many times. So many times. These are nice white pages. I hope that's coming through. I mean, there was a time when Bill Sienkiewicz did a monthly comic book. Think about that. But just like, you know, most people in comic books, he did some miniseries, and then he did some creator-owned series, and then he mostly does covers. Although he, for like all that time in Batman when they were doing the No Man's Land, or maybe it's not No Man's Land, it was like whatever it was during the earthquake, whatever that was called. He was doing inks like crazy. You'd think he was Klaus Janson. You know, if Klaus Janson wasn't doing the inking, then Sienkiewicz was. Who's that person that's doing the art? I don't know, but Bill Sienkiewicz is inking it, so it's going to look like him. Anyway, yeah, this is great. Look how powerful. And, like, I love it. You got to do this more when your character is knocked for a loop. But he just does such good, I don't know, man. His punches through things, his demonic looking people up here to show movement. I love the irradiated effect. And then he really like goes to town on that, like when you get to like Electro Assassin, and even though it's kind of unreadable for me personally, Stray Toasters, I guess I'll have to give that another try someday. Yeah, that's cool. Moon Knight, and he's getting his own series, so these are good issues to get. Let's see, we got Uncanny X-Men, the last of the Burns, Wendigo. That's cool because, you know, Wolverine's first appearance was in Hulk, and there was that Wendigo character. Days of Future Past. That was my first and second, actually my first consecutive issues of X-Men I ever bought off the shelf at a 7-Eleven. It may have been the first time I purposely, now it can't be because I was buying Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man when I was younger. But around that time, these came out, and it was the first time I got X-Men consecutively. And this is before I started purchasing it with my father, you know, us going out. This was my dollar that I bought a comic and then bought something else with. This is so cool. I love Nightcrawler when he's just porting, and then even still, Destiny's telling Avalanche where to punch. So cool. And then, yeah. Man, maybe Byrne does the best Storm. I mean, sometimes I know it's Mystique, but, you know, sometimes, you know, he can get overly sexy and put, like, storm clouds over her privates when she's in her attic with her plants, but he might not draw her, like, the most sexy like other people do, or, you know, I don't know, like a Beyonce or something, but he might still do the best Storm or Roro. Here we have X-Men 150, where Magneto sinks the sub that plays a whole bunch of storylines in, like, the trial of Magneto, not the one that's going to be coming out soon, but the original one. And then he wants to take the nuclear vessel, the weapons, and he wants to threaten the world with them, and then the X-Men have to go in and deal with that. And then there's this whole island where their powers don't work, I think. Here you go. There's you can see the Comic Code Authority right here, and you can see the blood on Piotr's chest, and it has to be black because we can't have graphic scenes of violence like red blood that comes from your body. Good issue. I got a few more minutes before we have to open up, and I got another bag right here. There's a lot more. There's Flash. I don't know. I might have to do a part 2. I might have to do a part 2 on this. Maybe I'll just end with these. Alright, these are from my childhood. Not these specifically, because these were somebody else's other days. But Walt Simonson on Thor. I had this issue too. Malekith. Cask of Winter, blah blah blah. So awesome. Simonson writing, drawing, I guess inking. Maybe I'm wrong about the inking. No, it says story and art. And it wasn't like they were going straight to colors. There was real inking involved. How dare a penciler go and have to ink on top of it and get a monthly book done? I mean, that's making everybody look horrible. I guess that's okay because John Byrne was writing and drawing 2 books at a time for a while. And then all that Superman stuff he did. So beautiful. Like, he can do his normal, and then so good. And I love John Workman. And I mean, how can you, if you have to have a favorite letterer, how can you not choose him, or maybe like Orzechowski or something like that? Or, you know, after those two, you probably just go straight to, I don't know, some program. Yeah, just do the program one. They're good too. Man, all these books, 350. Here we have 352, and these are all in pretty darn good condition. That's an official grade right there. That is an official grade. Pretty darn good. PDG. In fact, maybe we should just change the way we grade. Pretty darn good. No fingerprints. That's the important one. No fingerprints, no severe spine damage, and whatever things that can't get pressed away. Oh yeah. Do they really call him Throg, or is Throg another frog Thor? Nonetheless, this was super cool stuff when I was a kid. Was I even a kid anymore? What is this? 85, 15? I think that counts as being a kid still. It's definitely the reason why I wasn't reading textbooks. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's just issue after issue. Got some inkers on here. Milgram. Oh, excellent. Just love it. And one last Thor, and I'm going to call this quits, and we'll do another one of these some other time. Oh wait, what are those? Alright, I'll show the other two after this, and then we'll call it quits. This is, only Simonson did the cover. Beautiful art by Buscema. Alan Zelentes, if I'm saying it right. Got a Mephisto storyline, which is awesome, because Mephisto was in, like, Silver Surfer when Buscema did it. Thor was in Silver Surfer. Good connection. Ulick. And then these last two. Alright. Master of Kung Fu number 17. I don't think there's anything important in here, unless I guess Blackjack's important. Now in his own mag, this might be like the first issue of the name change. I don't remember that kind of stuff. Steve Englehart. Jim Starlin. Al Milgram. Oh yeah, there's the back. This can get fixed up a bit. Cleaned up. Bring it to life. Bring some luster back in the cover. And then number 18, this is a nice looking book until you turn it over, so this presents very well, everybody. But can you see the problem? Is it a problem? Maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't care. You know, it's definitely going to make it a less expensive book than it would normally. I guess there's no reason to do anything about this dent. It's a nice looking book, though. If you need an 18... you can do a lot worse. These pages, I don't know. Sometimes I get the heebie-jeebies if the pages are, you know, dirty. Or, you know, I just feel like maybe it's just all psychosomatic. But I feel like there's some sort of, I don't know, bugs on these books. So getting a nicer, whiter pages definitely makes a better presentation. And, you know, it makes it a lot more desirable. Englehart, Paul Gulacy, Al Milgram inking. Look at that. I guess I can show it to you like this. Yeah, Paul Gulacy. Early stuff. I love panel layouts like this. We don't get that as much. And the thing I really like is panel layouts. Like, each page will hopefully be different. So here he's got 3, 4, 7 panels here. All in this way, and then here he has 1, 4, 5 panels. That's kind of a traditional way. And then here he has 6, 7 panels, but done differently. And then this, I guess it's kind of like a Steranko style. But man, Paul Gulacy, he was pretty sweet. Anyhow, I hope everybody enjoyed this look through the comics that are going to be running through our website and or our store. Once again, let me do this. Once again, you can check us out at fantasticcomics.com, or you can go to our online, or you can go to our online in physical personal store in Berkeley, California. Make a trip on down. We're only about 10 minutes away from the BART station, downtown Berkeley. And you can get your steps in. You should come on in and do that. If you enjoyed what we did here and want to see more of it, please let us know in the comments down below. Also, maybe hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications and all that stuff. And also, we have a Patreon page. We also have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and an OnlyFans account. No, we don't have that one. You just have to check us up on Fantastic Comics on any of those places. And we post things. Usually it's whether or not we have comics on time. And this Tuesday, which has the new issue of Mr. Miracle, the miniseries that's coming out, we do have our comics on time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.